A Swift Kick in the Ass, episode 170. Life is challenging and difficult. No one gets out alive. Time to suck it up, Buttercup. Get ready for a monster-sized boot, aimed to help you get traction on personal change and get living. I am John Curran, your host. Join me as I share my journey, exploring the forces that motivate us to change and help us get through whatever life throws at us. A swift kick in the ass. Life on your terms. Welcome to another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass. This is your host, John Curran. Today's topic, man, it's going to be an extreme one. If you have kids on, I suggest you maybe listen to it first, because I'm going to get graphic on this. Because just from the title, the topic today is pull your head out of your ass if you want to live on your terms. Wow. Okay. I got that out. This is one of these episodes, I think, maybe one of the first episodes that I have felt actually a little trepidation over. I'm a little nervous over it. But we're going to get through this. Here's the thought. It's not a pretty thought. But when you are in a mess of shit, when your life is shitty, when things are going wrong for you, it's a mess. It's no fun at all when you are in the grip of the sphincter. What I mean by that is when your head is up your ass, your world's going to be pretty shitty. Now, understand, sometimes your world is shitty and it's not your fault. There's nothing really you can do about it. It's out of your hands. You're just handed this plate or this. I don't even want to say it. It's shitty. It's bad. You can't get out of it. There's nothing you can do about it. That's not what this episode is about. This is not for the hopeless. This is for people who still have hope, who, if they just can pull their head out of their ass, they're going to see that what they're going through is just something temporary and situational and a condition that you could work on to change. It might take some work. It's going to take some know-how. It's going to take some ingenuity. It's going to take you really thinking about how maybe you got yourself into this mess and how to pull yourself out of it. Because once you do, you're going to realize you're going to see the world a lot differently. You're going to take off the shit-colored glasses, wipe clean, get clean a little bit. And I know it's rough and it's tough, and I'm using coarse language, and I don't normally do that. But I don't know another way to really drive home this point that life gets shitty sometimes. And not to put blame, and I'm not trying to say why it became that way. You know why it is, and maybe you need to see that and admit that to yourself. But I'm not trying to figure that out on this episode, okay? I'm just trying to set the stage for this concept I have of having your head up your ass, and how it puts your blinders on, really, so that you might not be seeing the world clearly. You might be seeing it through this brown tint called the shit of your life. And you're probably oblivious to things that are going on around you because they're hidden. Your eyesight, it's coded. I guess that's really nasty way to think about it, but you got these goggles on, they're covered in crap. So I would like you to really kind of think about your own situation. If you're in a bad situation, this podcast is about creating positive change in your life. So I'm not here to dwell on the negative. I'm not here to talk about how you got into it. We all go through difficult times. We all go through shitty situations. Sometimes we don't cause them, and sometimes we do. And I find that when we do, it's best to own up to it and try to move beyond it. Sometimes your head can get pushed right up your ass, and you have a very narrow, closed mind way of looking at things. I guess that's how I'm defining, that's how I'm defining it. So I think if I'm going to try to give you some examples of this through my own life, there was one time when I was engaged to be married. I was living in Georgia at the time. I was through school, but just barely. And, I met this girl, and we hit it off right away. And we moved in with each other. Basically, we're by each other's side. We wouldn't leave for a while. And we moved in together. And over time, it became apparent she really had some issues. But I had my head up my ass. I couldn't really see. I was like, okay, if I'm going to marry this girl, which I had proposed to her, actually at Six Flags over Georgia. As I look back at that, I should have seen the signs, like when she, said, "I wish you would hit me, so I know you care." Well, that's actually what blew it for me. I knew she was absolutely crazy when she said that, as I was ducking a beer mug that she threw at me. Anyhow, I've had my head up my ass. I had a good friend of mine back when I was in college. I was just about ready to graduate from college, and it had taken me a very long time, actually, to get through my bachelor's degree, like 5.5 years, I think. That's because I was working my way through, and, I was low on the learning curve when I went to college. I really did not know how to study. High school, public schools did not prepare me well for college. I breezed through public schools just very easily. Without much studying, I was able to get by really easily. But college was a different game for me, and especially if you don't go to class and you're out all night, drinking and partying and just having a good time, enjoying every aspect of life that you can. You don't make class a lot because you're not taking it very seriously, and I didn't, and I almost got kicked out. But I had my head up my ass, and I had to pull myself out of it. I had to figure that out for myself, that if you don't go to class, you have no chance of learning. I found very quickly that if I just went to class, I really didn't have to crack the books as much. It was more important to go to class, pay attention, take notes, but go and engage. I figured it out. And I figured out, 2 master's degrees as well. I applied that as well because I just couldn't make any money with my bachelor's degree in teaching. So anyhow, I guess that was maybe another head up my ass. I felt like I loved to teach. I'm thinking back at that time when I was trying to get through my undergraduate degree, trying to figure things out for myself. Here I am, 58 years old, and still trying to figure things out. Life is continuously changing, and we can either just go along with it or we can help guide it. And that's another reason I have this show, because I want you to realize that you too can guide your life much better than you think you can, than you're aware that you can. I found in my life experience that some power we willingly give up, and we just assume that the entity will take it. All right, we're back at it. I apologize. There's probably going to be maybe a disconnect in my thoughts that I was just talking about, because as I'm sitting here recording, I could have sworn I heard the doorknob twist, like someone was trying to get in the house, and I thought my wife was just coming home. So, I didn't want to talk and have all the background noise. But my wife hasn't come home just yet. There was no one out there. So I was like, is that a person? Is it my imagination? Probably just the leaves rustling outside. Anyhow, you could see I'm a little pumped up about this topic. I should just go back and listen to where I was, but I know where I was, and I was talking about back in college when I had my head up my ass. I was about ready to graduate college, and one of my friends called me up and said, John, I want to have a serious discussion with you this afternoon. Are you available, at like 3 or something? It's like, yeah. And that was very unusual and kind of had me wondering what was going on. And my friend sat me down, and he says, John, you're being an asshole. I was like, what? Because, and he gave examples, and I don't remember what the examples were, but yeah, I was being a jerk. And he's like, you have a choice right now. You can keep going on down this path and keep on making these decisions, but you're going to lose your friends over it. And, I understand that you're, on top of the world. You're about ready to graduate from school. You have a hot girlfriend. You got a good car, a cool car. But you're being a jerk, and if you want to be a jerk, that's fine. But there'll be consequences, I guess. I don't think he said that there are consequences. He said that's up to you or something like that. Something kind. And, it took a lot for him to say that. And I will admit freely that I wasn't so cool and calm and collected when I first heard those words come out of his mouth. It's hard to hear things sometimes about yourself that you just don't want to acknowledge, maybe. Things that you've done in the past. These, ties that bind, the ball and chain that we kind of that we could be pulling around with us. We all carry some weight with us, I think. And what I've learned is that you don't have to carry that weight. If there's something bouncing around and holding you in that position, you should try to figure out what's going on. I think I'm getting off topic here because I can apply that to a head up the ass as hard as I try right there. So when you have your head up your ass, I guess another way of looking at it is sometimes having your head up the ass could be defined as hiding, not acknowledging the truth. Maybe not seeing the truth, or developing defense mechanisms that keep other people from seeing the truth, not being honest in how you present yourself to others. Now, Billy Joel, the piano man, he sang about the stranger and how we all have a face that we hide away forever. You know, that we take out and show ourselves when everyone is gone. You know, it's a great song. You know, he's like, some are satin, some are steel, some are leather. Anyhow, they're the faces of the stranger, and we love to try them on. We hide pieces of ourselves from everyone, and we don't have to broadcast to everyone who we are. There's nothing wrong with being private. And in fact, I think part of what's going on in our culture today is dealing with just that. You know, I hear this term, the woke culture. And I think woke, you know, what's the alternative to being woke? What's bad about being awoken? You know, being aware of other people's feelings and challenges, and you know what defines them as a person, you know, and people in need. You know, it's I don't see anything being wrong with being aware of that. Awareness is a good thing. You know, what do you want me to do? Go back to sleep? Once I find out something's wrong and someone's hurting, you just want me to discard that? For some people, I might choose to do that. To be honest. Maybe you would too. I don't know. You know, it's a case-by-case basis. In the case of the government, isn't the government supposed to provide a safety net for people who in need and people who need help? American citizens who have hit a streak of bad luck or had something bad happen in their life? I mean, it seems like that safety net's being cut away. And here, I bring this up not to be political, but because it's a swift kick in the ass. If people are fighting against the woke culture, you should stand up for yourself and be proud of who you are, but you don't need to. You could be quiet. I mean, I'm not telling people to shut up. This is such an awkward conversation. I think I have my head up my ass on this one, so I think I should just stay away from it, or at least I'll come back to it maybe on another show, because I guess I need to think about this. This is not about me or about how I feel. This is about just trying to help you, as well as myself, I guess, open my eyes to what's really going on in this world. I'm not casting any judgment. I know a lot is going on, politically, socially, culturally, and this show has not really been about that, but it also has been because it's been going against conventional belief. You know, what most people believe isn't necessarily true. And Tommy and I set out over 10 years ago to drive that home for people, and realize that change is with us whether we like it or not. I think where we fall short is we get through a difficult time. We think, oh God, we're so glad to be through that. I'm never going through that again. And yeah, you may not go through that again, but you will go through tough times again. Life is full of good and bad times. Some things we just don't have control over, And that's just, that's that. You just have to deal with the cards that you're given. So who am I to judge on what cards people hold? I guess maybe people are saying what society is maybe pushing back on is they're saying you need to hold those cards and hold them and hide them so other people don't see them, rather than just holding them out for everyone to see. Now, when I was in high school in the 80s, that's when Queen was, this was pre-AIDS. Queen was a very popular band, and homosexuality was in the closet, really, back then. It was very, although there was, I guess, free love and all that, that was going on. It was just kind of scary as a kid. The sexual revolution had taken place. So it was like free love and, swinging and group sex, and it was like a free for all. But I was too young to really participate in any of that. But that was also before AIDS. And it was all thought that, a lot of people thought Freddie Mercury was gay or acted gay, or they would talk about it, but he never talked about his private life in public. He was very personal. And even when he got AIDS, he still kept it very close to his vest. And he didn't go, when he got diagnosed, I understand he didn't want to go and speak and address people, address the huge problem and acknowledge, that he had AIDS. He didn't want to take sides, I guess. I don't know why he chose to do what he did, but he was private. And I respect that. And I'm private as well. And maybe that's what society is saying, is they're saying we all need to be a little bit more private. And it's okay to be private. And anyhow, some of you might be thinking, I have my head up my ass. That's okay. People get stuck in a certain mindset, right or wrong. And that can keep you from seeing the truth. It's good to get different sources of information, especially in today's world. You don't know what information is true and what is not, and what's biased and what's not biased, and it's very hard to tell what's really going on. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on, and it seems like the intellectual community is being, there's doubts being cast upon science and all this. It's like society's pushing for a dumber person. Like that's a good thing. And I don't believe that. I want you to think for yourself and think about what I'm saying here. Who knows what's really going on in people's minds? I don't claim to know. Possibilities exist, and we tend to think in extremes of extreme possibilities. So, both positive and negative, but the reality falls somewhere in between, and a combination of both good and bad. And it can be also very complex to determine, if you're trying to calculate things and try to figure things out. you can't. I don't agree that you can say a person is thinking this or that, because you're not in their mind. You don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know what you're thinking. That's why we need to talk and come together and to better understand each other. So I'm going to talk about some strategies for change that might help you understand if your head is up your ass. I mean, it's mine, I know, is in some ways, and I try to work to pull myself out so I can live more on my terms, because I really want to know what's going on so I can live a better life, but also provide better for my family and my friends, and just, I think that plays out in the world. If you are happy and you are prospering, that's a good thing. It's not a sin to prosper. But it's also not a sin to have bad times. So maybe try some self-reflection, try some journaling. The times I have journaled, what's kind of interesting for me is I'll write some things down. I'll keep a little diary, and then I do it for a little while, and then I stop. But then I'll go back and I'll read back through, and I really appreciate it when I do, and it shows me the differences in how I think, and it shows me how much I've grown in that time, and how my attitudes may have changed about one thing or another. And that's a good thing. It helps you better know yourself. I think, too, it's good to seek feedback from friends and family, people that you trust, people that you care about, people that have a vested interest in you and helping you, not helping them. People who have your best interest at heart. Sometimes you might need some professional therapy or counseling. Try to do it. Some of the things that we go through in life are extremely traumatic, and they do require professional help to help you deal with them and get past that. When your head is up your ass, you're not seeing things so clearly. You're also not really going anywhere. And the thought here and the concept is that if you're able to maybe pull your head out of your ass, maybe you can start walking around, really start enjoying life, enjoying all that's around you and everything that you've been cut off from because your head's been up your ass and you don't know what's going on really around you. So I'm trying to do that as well. Last strategy for one of the last strategy for change is mindfulness and meditation. You all know that I meditate every day. It's a part of my daily ritual, as well as eating breakfast is now after I meditate. And grapes are included in my diet. For the last couple of years, I've been craving it, and I just read a study about how it actually helps muscle, and it changes you at a genetic level, and it can kind of reset you at a genetic level and help with your muscle. And I kind of swear by it because I've been craving for it. I'm going to reread the article, and I'll share it on the website, aswiftkickintheass.com. But meditation really has helped me create a better, stronger connection between my mind and my body and my spirit. It's kind of, I guess the one analogy I have, or the way I think about it, is when I'm in karate and I'm trying to kick something or punch something. Sometimes I can see it in my head, but my body is just not connecting. Like, I'm not following through. I'm not doing what I want. My mind is not. My body's not doing what my mind is telling it to do. That's because the connection is not as strong, and it takes time and training and discipline to build that connection. Meditation is a great practice. A practice is something that you do every day. It could take 5-10 minutes. It take 20 minutes. It could take longer. It all depends how much you need. You want to do it once, twice, whatever. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. And I think I just found out what that noise was. I thought it was the door rustling. It's the damn ice maker that we just got. It's in the other room. No one else is here. And I'm thinking there's ghosts. But again, I'd be fooling myself, right? It's just the ice maker. It's not some crazy idea or vision that I have of a monster being out there or something like that. Something totally unreal. Sometimes difficult, I guess, though, right? To see the difference between what's real and what's not real. And your impressions of what is real aren't necessarily right. Your perception might be off. It might be skewed, and people might be guiding it in one way or another. Think about that. I'm not trying to guide you in any one particular direction. I'd rather just have you say, let's start thinking about things and thinking about your life and how you can make it better. Take your life on as a project. What areas of your life do you want to improve? And try to figure out what you can do to take steps to create positive outcomes in your life. That's what a swift kick in the ass is to me. You will, once you get your head out of your ass, you're going to start seeing things more clearly. A friend of mine who I did talk about in a previous episode, who we had an intervention on, and that actually had great impact on him. I'm a little bit sitting on the edge about saying how effective it was, because I still think it's a little bit too early. I think time's going to tell. But he stopped drinking over 30 days ago, after we all intervened. And he was saying he didn't drink every day beforehand, but man, the way he was drinking before, crazy. Anyhow, he said he's seeing things clearly now. I know his relationship with just about everyone, brothers, sisters, family, friends, is better from that. He sounds good on the phone, has good mental health, and he's actually working out at the gym. He's if you're just feeling better, all the way around. Personal growth. So it's difficult to pull your head out of your ass sometimes. It's painful. God, is it painful? It's horrible sometimes. Depends how far you get it stuck up there. But I'm telling you, we all appreciate when people take the time to to reflect and think about things and reframe and kind of reset, and pull their head out of their ass. They figure a way to do it, and they see life a little bit differently, and they're happier people. They're no longer acting like assholes. Gosh, I'm really cussing a lot on this. So it's going to be extreme. Like I said in the beginning, if you have kids, maybe you don't, have them listen to this, but it's okay. I'm going to mark this as extreme and graphic and all that crap. If you like these, I know my show is taking a little bit different turn. I'm being a little bit more upfront and honest. I'm trying to get my head out of my ass and realize that I'm just dealing with real people out here, just like me, and need to talk like a real person about real things that have importance to you. And if what I talk about helps you and helps you grow as a person, helps make a positive difference in your life, man, I'm happy. I'm real happy. So I invite you to email me at john@aswiftkickingtheass.com with your stories. And would love to hear them. I'm going to set up a forum on the website about that will make it easier for people to submit stories. I know that all of you like the interviews, and I have some good interviews, really good interviews coming up. I believe the man's name is Brian Driscoll coming up. I'm going to be interviewing an author about a book on happiness. And this is really cool. Tommy's widow, Jen, is very interested about coming on the show. And she wants to get, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk and figure it out. She said she needs to do it before she loses the nerve. But she came to me and said that she was so happy that I've continued the show on without Tom, and she wanted me to interview her. So that is coming. And then I have another interview too with a friend from high school who has a book out, and she's had a tough life. She's had some things happen to her that are unbelievable. But I'll let her tell her story. She wrote a romance novel, and but she's having some health issues, and she's been in the hospital. So just waiting for her to get better. We'll interview her. Until then, I'm gonna keep on putting out more content. I hope you really enjoy it, because I really enjoy bringing it to you. I love to get feedback, and write me. I'm not allowed to have a Facebook page underneath a Swift Kick in the Ass, but look up John Curran. I have a public page. My private page, I don't I don't accept friends that I haven't met in person. So if I don't know you, please don't take that personally. Just follow me on my public page. I think that is about it. Hope I wasn't too graphic for you. I hope this episode helps you realize that we all have our heads up our ass. Sometimes it's pretty shitty, but it's something that we can get through, hopefully. And once we get through it, we're going to be better for it, less smelly. We're going to see the world clearer, and we're going to try not to stick our head up our ass again. But no guarantees. So I'll just leave you with that little chuckle. This is your host, John Curran, on A Swift Kick in the Ass. Until next time, peace. This marks the end of another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass, placing it directly in the can. As much as I like to talk, even I have my limits. It's time to go. Catch me on the next show. For better or worse, whether you like us or not, please leave comments wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter. Visit our home on the interweb. I think you can leave me a voicemail there. You can also email me at john@aswiftkickintheass.com. It's been my extreme pleasure. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope you got your ass moving. Until then, until the next time, I'm out of here. Peace.